What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So let's just go ahead and jump straight in. I've said this before in so many different ways. The Clippers really might actually be the most unfortunate team in NBA history. Going into tonight's game against the Lakers, of course you want everybody to be there. Kawhi, James Harden, Norman Powell, and the rest of the crew. And it's very possible that they might. Norman Powell's listing is questionable. Kawhi should play, even though it's technically a back-to-back. And James Harden's been pretty consistent, the most consistent one out of all this season, even last season. But the reason why I say the Clippers really are one of the most, if not the most unfortunate team ever, is because they're always injury-riddled. It's always a question whether one guy is going to be there. It's always one guy missing. It's always, something that's missing. It's never really a full roster for a full season or a good amount of time to really judge and see what this team could be like with everybody together and everybody building. Because even though they play in increments, we have seen how good they can look. But it's never going to materialize unless it can be some consistency with everybody on the floor. And as far as the Clippers go, I don't know if the consistency is anything that is going to transpire. Because, looking at the Clippers, they have all the talent in the world in regards to maybe not the most talent of superstar power, but they have all the talent in the world in regards to guys who are gritty, a superstar player who's won championships, another superstar player who's won MVPs, a six-man / starter in Norman Powell who can score with the best of any players in the league. And they got a so-called decent coach in Ty Lue who's actually won a championship himself as a player and as a coach. And they're in the greatest place in the world, California, LA. That might be biased, but I understand if it is to you. But I feel that way because I'm here. But regardless, every place is great. Every place has greatness to it. I'm not going to diminish that. But my point is, with all that they have and all they've had in the last few years, this team is just very unfortunate. And, you got two big games coming up against the Lakers back-to-back. You need Kawhi for both. You need Norman Powell for both. You need James Harden for both. And you still got to try to find a way to maintain. They're just getting lucky because the Timberwolves lost to the Lakers last night. And now they got the Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors on their heels for that sixth spot. And the Clippers are playing their worst basketball of the season right now. And it's like, that's very unfortunate because with what they have on paper and what they showed before even Kawhi came back off injury, how they can be feisty and play defense. And Zubac is playing better this year. And, it's James Harden's actually playing better this year than he did last year for the Clippers. And you got Norman Powell playing better this year than he did last year for the Clippers because guys been stepping up, doing their best. And, Kawhi comes back. The first several games, they look pretty good. They look pretty good with them. He looked pretty good, but it's no consistency. It's first, it's the minutes restriction, the no back-to-backs, and it's like all that hurts a team. Kawhi is great, always going to be great, but it doesn't make his team great if he's not there and there's other guys on there that's suffering through injuries. What's helped Kawhi Leonard in his past really was he was on teams where he might have been the most injured guy, but everybody else on the team has been healthy. So with the San Antonio Spurs, they were pretty much healthy the whole time. When Kawhi had the thigh injury or, quad injury. And the Raptors, everybody else on the team was healthy. Kawhi was the one that was injured, load managing. Everybody else played every single game just about. But now he's on a team where he's not healthy and other guys are unhealthy as well, main players. And Norman Powell's missed some games. And the games that Norman Powell hasn't played, they've missed his offense because they're used to his offense. They're built around his offense along with everybody else's now because he's not a sixth man anymore. So, a lot has to go right for this team, but the injury situation has to be in the forefront. They just have to find a way to stay on the floor. They have to find a way to get more consistency out of Kawhi Leonard. And honestly, these next 2 games is going to tell a lot about the Clippers, because the Lakers are playing very good right now. They're the 4th seed, and they're like 2 games behind the 2nd seed. Or a few games behind the 2nd seed with a few losses, So, it's an uphill climb for the Clippers. You don't want to find yourself in the play-in tournament, but you're going to find yourself there if guys can't stay on the floor. You're going to find yourself there if the injury bug keeps riddling this team. And you're going to find yourself out of another playoff opportunity if Kawhi can't go in the playoffs this year. And it's like, when will this team ever be whole, healthy, and fans can have confidence enough to watch this team play and say, we have a legitimate chance to win? And don't sit there and have to always say, oh, we have a chance to win, but only if we're healthy. That's not good enough. The Clippers got to find a way to stay healthy. In this run right here, if they lose 2-3 games straight, if they lose these 2 games to the Lakers, they're basically going to be in the 7th, 8th spot. So these 2 games against a team that's ascending, you got to win both of them. You got to. It's plain and simple. There's nothing else to say. And you got to go on a 5 to 6 game winning streak from this point out, at least, to keep yourself in contention of that 5th, 6th seed. It's like the injury situation puts the Clippers in the worst situation possible. They play good for one part of the season, injuries take over, or always had a space for injuries to come in there, and it just kind of takes over the good part of the season that they might have had. Same thing last year. Kawhi played 68 games last year. But the injury took over at the wrong time, at the latter part of the season, and he really couldn't go in the playoffs, even though he tried to play the 2 games. Very unfortunate. Well, hopefully fortune comes the Clippers' way this year. But right now it's not looking that great, and we can only hope that it gets better from here.